I want to bring in Daniel Lifshitz. His grandparents were both kidnapped on October 7th. His grandmother was released among one of the first group of hostages released. She survived. His grandfather sadly was killed in captivity. And Daniel, I want to bring you in at first. Just get your reaction to this moment, knowing all the hostages released today and seeing two of them just there. Big thumbs up, big wave to the crowd. What goes through your head when you see that?
First of all, I'm seeing them and I'm so happy to see that starting. I don't know to say good conditions, but they can walk, they can smile, they can raise their thumbs up, and they are with the shirts of Maccabi Tel Aviv, which is a soccer team that I played in, and it's amazing to see them. I think that this release, one of the most special thing about it is like they leave no one alive behind. No one alive behind stays there. My grandma is released. All the alive hostages that have been released until now are being released today as well, because they don't look back. They don't wake up in the morning thinking about the tunnel. They don't see a poster of a hostage and feeling that they are back in the tunnel. So that is the most important thing, that it's not only a release of 20 live hostages today, it's the release of all the live hostages that have been released from Gaza.
You mentioned the soccer team you played for. It is their favorite, by the way, until they were given these jerseys on this, obviously, such an important day. Talk to me about you say your grandmother and all these other hostages. For them, in a way, they're being released today too, because these families have become so tight-knit. What has that relationship been like, even after your grandmother was released and you found out you lost your grandfather and you finally got his remains hundreds of days later? You have still remained as part of this sort of extended now hostage family, all rooting for and supporting each other. What's that been like?
Environment here is something beyond. You don't know it if you haven't been there. And we are in it now together. So many families are here. My grandma is here in the hostage square. I'm just in the family room inside the hostage square. We are bonded. So for me, I was bonded to more than 90 hostages at start, because 76 came from Kibbutz Nir Oz and others that I knew from the kibbutz next to me. But then since October 7, for 2 years, 24/7, everything I do personally is to be with them as well. And when my grandma was released, that's what she's doing all the time, because she's feeling that her own family inside that big hostage family is the family of the hostages themselves who've been there. So for my grandma, Matan Tsangauker, who is now, we know that he's finally been released and he's in the hand of his family, is someone who walked with her inside the tunnels in October 7. So for her, you have to understand, it's a family for her, members that are being released now. I tell you, I saw the eyes of Aviva Sigal and they became brighter. You see that they are released. You see so many former hostages that we see now, they all been released thanks to President Trump. President Trump made a dream come true, something we haven't believed that it's possible. And suddenly, he understood what to do. He brought all the Arab League. There's going to be a summit in Sharm el-Sheikh that probably Prime Minister Netanyahu is going to join there. The president of Indonesia is supposed to come to Israel tomorrow. I think that when he said all the time, peace, peace, and Ambassador Witkoff came here and spoke about peace on the hostage square, and we didn't understand exactly what's going to do. I think they have a plan. And if we will see today the Prime Minister in Sharm in the summit about Gaza, and the President of Indonesia tomorrow coming to Israel, wow, it's unbelievable to see what was a month ago, that Israel been in the worst situation in the world in terms of the anti-Semitism, and we've been banned from things, and now suddenly everything can just flip, and maybe we see peace in the Middle East. I don't know. Maybe we can go to Indonesia soon.
So what is your grandmother saying? Because she lived all of this. She lived through this kidnapping. She lived through this captivity. She was side by side with some of the people being released today. So what is she saying about watching them now coming home and standing in Hostage Square right now side by side with those families?
Can't take her smile out of her face. She's just smiling. She's so happy. I don't wish any person in the world, not my worst enemies, to have a family member as a hostage. It is the worst thing possible because you wake up in the morning and you go to sleep while you don't know if your family member has been eating, drinking, breathing, getting tortured, or anything else. So we feel as hostages as well. But if we already have hostage member as a family member, I wish each one to have the feeling of him being released. And it's like God sent someone to hell, and in some point, he's been moved back to earth or to heaven. This is how I can express it.
And what are the other hostage families saying to you, sitting there waiting right now to see their loved one, knowing that moment is coming soon?
So, most of the all the hostages families that are their beloved ones coming back today. So they either in a Re'im base getting their beloved ones. That's the most closed family members, and then the children and others are waiting in the hospitals. We've just seen the photos of the helicopters landing in the hospitals in Israel, and the hostages with the family members that are with them are being moved into the hospital to get those unbelievable footage that we will see, the pictures and videos that we haven't seen for so long time of kids running to their parents. There's nothing more beautiful than seeing Omri Miran daughters running to him, and David Kunyos and Maxim Arkin and Elkanah Buchbut. That would be the videos of the day.
And Daniel, I know your grandfather died during all of this. His remains came back 503 days after his kidnapping. What can you tell us about him?
My grandfather was a man of doing the right thing, a guy that wanted to change the world with the tools that he had. He was a guy who fought 4 different wars, but in the meantime was a journalist advocating for peace, human rights, did education. In 1984, he came to Gaza and said the only solution for Gaza is changing the education, changing the schools in Gaza for the right education. If that won't happen, one day it's going to be a nightmare. And he was right. He was always right on everything he said. And one thing he said, Hamas is the biggest danger for the Middle East, and everything will start there. I can say that he was alive for 20 days. And I must tell you that I believe that if President Trump was the president on October 7, my grandfather would be back here alive together with the Bibas family and together with many hostages that been murdered in captivity. But, if today we will see a path going through a start of peace, so my grandfather will look from up and will be able to, his soul will rest.
Daniel, President Trump is getting ready to speak in just a few moments there in Israel. What are you hoping to hear from him, and what are you hoping for next? This is just phase 1 of what hopefully will be a successful peace process. What are you watching for and hoping for next?
I hope that President Trump will secure for, I don't know for eternal time, but for as much as possible, peace and security for the people of Israel. And, I think that the Palestinians have to choose as well for themselves the right way for peace and not for terror. And I hope that he will open a new path for a new Middle East, as he said. It seems like he's doing it. And I'm very thankful for his humanity. I feel that the hostages became back not a political will, a humanitarian will, and something that is very hard to bring back on the table when there is a hostages issue. The awareness is, you don't know how to address it. But I think that the hostages families and the forum of the hostages in Israel and in the US and the hostages square showed Trump that's doing the right thing. You get great results and you get the right love, and I really hope that he will be successful in bringing the peace. And I don't know, the next Nobel Prize they should give him twice, because one he deserved from the Abraham Accord, and the next one for what's going on. But for us, what's important is the hostages are back home. And I'm waiting to hear what's he going to say. He's the president of the world. I'm more willing to listen to what he said than saying what I would like him to say.
All right, Daniel, we appreciate your time today. I'm so glad that your grandmother made it home. I'm sorry for everything you and your family endured through all of this, but I'm glad, obviously, that your grandmother is home, and now she gets to know that all those people who were alongside her in captivity are heading home as well.
Absolutely. If I can add just one word, I think that today what President Trump didn't get at families of hostages that have taken the peace one, but standing before bringing back the peace is unbelievable. It's something that I can just be shocked how much he care about it, and now I trust him that he will bring also all the deceased hostages back. So thank you very much.
All right, Daniel, we appreciate your time today. Again, thank you, and lots of love to you and your family.